else. Actually, this is a really weird one. This is a video that some MGTOW guy made about Liberace, and because his argument here is that women liked Liberace, and they thought he was attractive despite him being homosexual, and that's a sign of women being evil or something like that.
Howdy, y'all.
Howdy.
Hey, this is going to be M on Liberace.
M.
For those of y'all who do not know who Liberace was a
we all know who Liberace
male
is.
Pianist or piano player. Was born in the early 1900s, died in the late 1900s. And the reason why I bring him up as a MGTOW topic is because of Liberace and female hypergamy. Now, for those of you...
hypergamy is pretty much women like, oh, I'm going to marry this guy because he's rich, or some superficial, extremely superficial reason like that. The argument he's going to make barely even ties to hypergamy. I'm going to tear this apart in a second. I like the way he says Liberace. Liberace. It's interesting.
I've never seen him. This is Liberace.
Why is he coming up as a topic?
Liberace,
he's been dead for like
to
ever.
Everyone in the modern world is, or was, obviously gay. Now, what does this have to do with female hypergamy? Well,
I don't think it's necessarily obvious. I think based on outfits he wore in his later career, not so much his early career, but his homosexuality was actually kept a secret, especially when he had AIDS. Like that was a big thing that his staff was trying to cover up. Now, people could make jokes like, oh, look at what he's wearing, he must be gay. But people legitimately did not know, and were actually quite shocked to find out in large numbers. Did some people know? Did some people guess it? I'm sure. But I would say that the vast majority of people were shocked by that revelation.
On a time, I asked some older female friends of mine, relatives and such. I went through about a 3-4 month long period back when HBO made a movie about him. Then I asked these older women, did y'all honestly know he was not gay? Did you honestly know that Liberace was not gay? And they all said, yeah.
Well, it depends on if you ask them when his sexual orientation had been made public. Because if it hadn't, then I could perfectly understand why so many women had not known. And just because they hadn't known that he was gay is not indicative of anything about female behavior.
Yes. And they were sincere. And I was like, how on earth could you not know this man was gay? How on earth could you not know a man who dressed like this was gay? All right, let's ignore all the
Clearly, anyone who dresses like that must be one of them gays. Like I've never seen anyone else dress up for a role or like, oh, I'm going to put on a show and wear some elaborate costume. Clearly a gay.
Playing. Let's ignore
piano playing is
all the
indicative of homosexuality.
And all the extravagance, right? But those will be important things to remember.
Not really.
Later on.
No.
Let's focus on how he dressed and how he acted. And I asked them again, you honestly had no idea.
Liberace did not dress this way throughout his entire career. In fact, when he started out on television, he wore a tuxedo, and he just looked like any clean-cut young man. And that's where a lot of women became fangirls for Liberace, because he was a cute guy on TV who could play piano. And at that point, there was really no reason to suspect. I mean, this is back when like TV was black and white. There was no reason to suspect that he was a homosexual. And you could maybe infer that from what he wore, but the public at large did not know until his death.
That this man, Liberace, was gay. And they said, yay, yes.
You're making this interpretation from modern day where we can say, yes, Liberace was gay. We already know that, though. That's public knowledge. It's much different to step into the mindset of people before that had been revealed.
So, I got around to thinking about it. And it came to my acknowledgement. It came to my wisdom that these women did not recognize that Liberace was gay because they were in a form of denial.
Oh.
And it wasn't culturally induced denial that, oh, how could one of America's greatest modern pianists be gay? No, he's just extravagant. He's just effeminate.
They were in a state of denial. Well, it was probably shocking in the 80s. Homosexuality was not exactly an accepted lifestyle, especially among people like, oh, this person's famous and this person's already made it, and that probably would shock people. But the argument that this guy's going to make is that, oh, the women, they were in denial that that Liberace was homosexual because they had fantasized about Liberace, and that's just a crazy conspiracy theory, and this is what's wrong with you MGTOW fucking morons.
All the excuses on the planet to make sure that this man wasn't, in evolutionary psychology terms, strategically interfered with. And then that's the key.
What are you even talking about?
Female hypergamy. Why did these women not want to believe that Liberace was gay? Because Liberace had status, wealth, power. May want to argue on the power there, but he had fame, status, he had wealth because of the piano playing and all the singing stuff, piano playing stuff.
What women
exactly? It was
exactly?
like, sort of modern day boy band all unto himself.
Sure.
And then that's when I got clued in on it. These women didn't want to believe that Liberace was gay because they wanted the ladder climb his ass. They had little fantasies going on in their head. Little boy band fantasies. Even though he was a solo act. And then that's why they refused to believe he was gay. Women...
That... You don't necessarily have to say, oh, this person's not gay to think that. I mean, how many guys today fantasize about Ellen Page, even though we all know she's a strict lesbian? Like, that's not going to stop people. Like, oh, people are always attracted to celebrities for whatever reason. And it might be some of like the power and wealth. It might be because celebrities on average are attractive. Liberace wasn't exactly attractive when he began the flamboyant aspect of his career. But this is just complete conjecture. Where is this coming from? No, I know the answer. I know where this is coming from. This is coming from a deep rooted hatred of women that this MGTOW movement produces. Everyone knows that. It's not even news to anyone. So let's just get that out of the way right now. And it's complete conspiracy theory. Like, oh, they were just in denial because they wanted Liberace. They didn't want to think he was a homo. It's like, no. Who exactly thought that?
Will live in denial. You don't even have to be straight. Sometimes alpha, as far as heterosexual alpha BS goes, sometimes alpha doesn't even matter. All that matters sometimes to get these women so twisted in the brain that they will not even notice that you are so flamingly gay that you are wearing sequins and feathers. Like one of my female friends was telling me earlier, how can anyone not think he was gay? He's bedazzled. Yes, he was bedazzled. Look at this man. And honestly, every woman in his target age group at the time refused to believe, did not even cross their minds if they are to be believed that he was gay.
Maybe because wearing extravagant clothing is not an automatic, like, oh, you must be a gay. Like, I mean, what about Tim Curry? What about David Bowie? R.I.P., of course. Like, it's a ridiculously outdated view of the gay community that, I mean, I'm not surprised it's coming from a MGTOW. You guys aren't really in tune with anything ever. You're usually morons. And overall, it's just a strange topic to bring up. Like, I saw a movie recently about Liberace, but it's not relevant it's just quite frankly not relevant at the moment to even discuss this idea.
The only rational explanation for this, besides culture, which culture is not a rational explanation, is that
Not a rational
women
explanation.
desired him for his status and wealth. Ergo, the golden candelabras.
Hey, dude, M, or whatever your name is, for moron, surely, or mongoloid, could you have picked, blurrier pictures to put in your video? I'm stunned right now by the quality of these pictures. They look great. Perfect stuff, M. Perfect. It's like I'm in the movies. I'm at the red carpet premiere of the Liberace movie. The Liberace movie. By the way, people should totally check out the movie Behind the Candelabra, starring Michael Douglas as Liberace, and Matt Damon is in it as well. It's a very good movie, and I thought it gives an interesting look into. It's a lot of it is like fictional in terms of dialogue, but it does give an interesting look at Liberace's life behind the scenes. I guess that's why I call it Behind the Candelabra. Let's finish this up.
The chandeliers and all that other extravagant stuff.
Having a chandelier makes you a faggot.
On Liberace.
Okay.
And female hypergamy.
Hypergamy.
And you
Hypergamy
guys
did not relate to
have
that.
a nice day.
Okay, you suck.